Okay. Okay. So here we are, and you're standing still. And you're asking her, you're stepping on the leash because she was pulling it from your hand. So we want to be safe. I get it. I think the first thing we would do is next time, if this happens, we want to move off the street, away from the cars, a little further away. I want us to look at her respiratory, she's breathing heavy, almost like she's worked out, right? So this is an indication of distress, but I suspect it's, and again, I'm not there, the cars, possibly audibly, it may be bothering her. Remember, we're considering her stage in life. She's an adolescent, right? So her brain is growing at different parts of her brain is growing at different rates. Her prefrontal and her amygdala is not talking very well. This is just information learned from the neuroscience scientists, particularly Dr. Kathy Murphy and Damasio and a number of others. Gregory Burns, some of his work. So our dogs do have prefrontal cortex. It helps them, helps to override their emotions. It's a little smaller than ours, but it's there. It's hard for her to be outdoors. So let's look at her respiratory rate. She's trying to deal with this, and there's some lip licks too that we'll see. You're doing a great job trying to keep her engaged, and she is responding to it, but she's, did you see that? Again, she's not knowing what to do. And so movement, even though the outburst is difficult to manage, she's trying to release her distress. She's dysregulated, right? In part, it might be, again, it may be a number of things. It's a trifecta of things. It's her age. She's an adolescent. Her ability to come down to baseline it takes longer. She was originally, we didn't know, you didn't know, and you used an e-collar, or someone used an e-collar on her and trained you to use an e-collar. Even though it was temporary, it's still enough to teach her nervous system, right? And so again, adolescence, past learning, she's coming out of it, I will say. She's doing really well. We've been doing great work. But this is hard for her. It's hard for her. She's doing the best she can. But her respiratory says, you see how she's panting, looking around, a little bit of hypervigilance, looking around, right? Right, so it's difficult for her to come down. She does respond. I love that she is able to respond. But it's when you pick up that leash and start to move, she becomes distressed. Look at me, come with me. We could use a squeaky here. We could use a rope. Again, I'm just throwing out some suggestions, trial and error, all right, to try to move her. And then we're filing longer term setups that we'll be working on. Right, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So, a lot different than she responded early on when we first started walking. Okay, so this was great. Thank you so much for sharing with me. That's good information for us to utilize. We'll be changing up some of our management. And I would say, instead of holding the leash, let's get a longer leash that we can wrap around us. We could also use a timeout is punishing. Timeout would mean that we don't move. But in this case, actually, we would not use a timeout because I suspect it is some type of audible or visual stimulation, which is making her nervous because of the respiratory rate. And I would say I think the best thing to do is try to distract her with, look at her, she's looking to see if you're gonna drop that leash, right? She wants to bite on it. So we could get a rope toy or a bounce ball or a squeaky to just move her away from our hands, and we could wrap that leash around our body. That's what I would do to be safe. And then we will do some longer term setups. We'll do some counter conditioning, keeping still, maybe in the driveway, further away from the noise, and visual stimulation, and work on some, maybe even the biofeedback protocol outdoors. Okay, great. I'll see you soon. Bye.